Ron Paul says, "Don't trade real liberty for phony security." It's a take on what Ben Franklin said. They're really trying to take away our gun rights. Gun control. They want to ban guns all out altogether, thinking that that's gonna for some reason stop mass shooting. But really, all that's gonna do is prevent law-abiding citizens from defending themselves. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that like button and that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my socials and my merch store and my mental health coaching and consultation page. All right, let's talk about this news. Authoritarian politicians wasted no time using the recent shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, to justify new infringements on liberty. Just days after the Buffalo shooting, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a law creating a new domestic terrorism office in the FBI, the Justice Department, and the Department of Homeland Security. Like, we need more agencies. This is a step towards achieving the long-standing goal of many progressives of focusing the national security state on, quote, domestic terrorists and, quote, right-wing extremists. Supporters of these efforts have used Buffalo shooter's mention of replacement theory in his manifesto to attack prominent conservative commentators, most notably Tucker Carlson. Carlson and others are accused of spreading the replacement conspiracy theory because they have pointed out that the left has for years celebrated the coming replacement of the white majority population. I mean, even if you really haven't been paying attention to this stuff, you know that they've been talking about this for years. The goal is to stigmatize, intimidate, and even criminalize those expressing views or facts that contradict the cultural Marxist or the Democrat Party establishment. Painting the Buffalo shooter as a conservative requires ignoring his self-description as an environmental fascist and his disdain for Fox News conservatism. But again, they ignore that fact. The mainstream media also ignores the shooter's use of the same neo-Nazi symbol used by the Ukrainian Azov Brigade. And then if you bring up Ukraine and Nazis, they try to say that it's fake news, but we all know we've seen the symbols that they use. This may be because they don't want the American people to realize their tax dollars are supporting actual Nazis in Ukraine. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The push to use the police state against right-wing extremists is supported by many progressives who correctly oppose the national security state's civil liberties abuse of Muslims and other minorities. Conversely, many conservatives who have defended all infringements on liberty done in the name of global war on terror correctly oppose federal crackdown on right-wing extremists. Both sides fail to realize that a violation of any individual liberty is a threat to everyone's liberty. I mean, that is basic. That's basic Constitution 101. The massacre of the 19 school children and 2 teachers of Uvalde was followed by calls for expanded gun control from President Biden and other prominent politicians. Among the proposals floated are a renewed push for federal red flag laws. I mean, you can't trust these red flag laws. These will be the same people that put people on the no watch list, the no fly list, and all that other crazy stuff. But red flag laws allow law enforcement to take someone's guns without due process based on a mere allegation that an individual posed a risk of violent behavior. Despite being unconstitutional, easily abused, and ineffective at stopping violent crime, red flag laws enjoy broad bipartisan support. For example, former President Donald Trump endorsed a policy of take the gun first, worry about due process later. And I don't believe in that whatsoever. Because the criminals don't care about no red flag laws. That's why they're criminals. They don't care about laws. They're gonna find a way to get a gun and use it no matter what. I mean, that's why they're criminals. But if Congress was serious about protecting liberty and security, they would pass Kentucky Representative Thomas Massey's legislation repealing the Gun Free Zones Act of 1990. This poorly worded law leaves children defenseless against mass shooters who are not dissuaded from their evil intentions by, quote, gun free zone signs. I mean, I don't understand why they think that will work by putting a sign up is going to stop a mass shooter. Video showing the Uvalde police not only standing around outside the school, but tasering parents who were trying to protect their children reinforces the importance of allowing school personnel to protect themselves and their students by carrying firearms. I'm a firm believer of that. Expanding the police state to monitor right-wing extremism and giving the government new powers to deny law-abiding individuals access to firearms makes us less safe and less free. Instead of allowing politicians to use mass shootings as an excuse to further expand their powers, we must insist they repeal all federal laws that trade real liberty for phony security, starting with the USA Freedom Act, previously known as the USA Patriot Act, because the Patriot Act, it had a bad connotation, so that's why I believe they went and changed that name, and the so-called Safe and Gun-Free Schools Act. We need to repeal those. But let me know what you think about all this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out demarcopublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.